Welcome to a special edition of Jonesy's Jukebox, live from the KLOS Subaru live stage on location at the Viper Room today. I'm Full Metal Jackie, filling in for Jonesy today, and our special guest is the metal god, Rob Halford of Judas Priest. What's up, Rob? How great is
Hello,
this,
Jackie.
doing this at
Is
the
this
Viper
so
Room?
great?
Yeah, I mean...
Hi, everybody. What's up, Metal Maniacs? Hello, KLOS.
It's obviously been an amazing couple of years for Judas Priest. I mean, the success of Firepower and the Firepower World Tour, which was tremendous. And, Rob and I were just talking off air about how cool it is just being here on the Sunset Strip and, at the Viper Room here. And I have to imagine that you have such amazing memories of Priest and, being here in the 80s.
A lot of them are hazy. staggering back from Barney's Beanery up to the Sunset Marquee. And I go to my room, this is like whatever year it was, 1748, and trying to sleep because somebody got a party going on in the room next to me, and it wasn't our kind of music. So I somehow found myself to an electronics shop on the strip and bought the biggest boombox I could find, took it back to the hotel room, cranked it to 11, pushed it against the wall, and was blasting metal out, like 4 in the morning. And within minutes, it had the desired effect, and they kind of turned down their R&B or whatever it was they were playing. So yeah, lots of great memories. It's a very, very special place, the Sunset Strip for rock and roll, for metal. It's world famous. Everybody wants to come here, So, and especially this room. This room is just a magical place. There's not many left, Jackie, as we were saying.
No, there's not. I mean, Viper Room's one of the last few places standing on the strip, and it's so great to have you here. And again, Priest has had such great success. We're here today to talk about Rob Halford's all-new Christmas album we have right here called Celestial. It's coming out on October 18th, and I gotta ask, Christmas time, obviously, it's right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it, and it's very celebratory. What makes Christmas sort of like particularly joyous for you, especially being an Englishman?
Well, it's simple. It's music. We all play music at Christmas time, right? The holidays. That's part of celebration. We're cranking up the sounds, whatever they might be. And I was talking to Mark Chossie, my friend that was with me in the fight band. Years ago, we made a quick song called Christmas Ride, wasn't it, Mark? And that was a little first, dipping your metal toe in the water type of thing. And I always remember that. So running forward to the Halford band and the Winter Songs record 10 years ago, this was just another opportunity a decade later to reinvestigate this special time of the year, but this time in a pretty unique way because it's with family and friends.
Right. Celestial, obviously very much a family affair. You've got your brother, your sister, nephew, all performing on the record. What were you like as kids at Christmas time in the Halford household?
All the same. It's the great thing about family is that hopefully that a lot of us in the room today, as we get older, there are more kids brought into the family from different siblings. So for me, it's still that part of the experience. I have a beautiful, great niece. I'm now a great uncle, which is a pretty good vibe. And she turns 1 this Christmas time, so you won't be able to see the kid for gifts. There's a kid in there somewhere surrounded by a pile of gifts. But it's mostly and most importantly, it's that opportunity for family and friends to come together. It's a loving moment. It's a celebration. There's lots of food, lots of drink. It's just a unique time of the year. And I always talk about the candy man at Christmas time, because we used to have this thing when we were kids where you would have your regular gift, but you'd have a box with different kinds of candy in, different brand candies. Oh. So Christmas would be over by 6 a.m., because kids wake up in the middle of the night. And the first thing you want to open is this box of candy, and so you're having a sugar rush. Your breakfast is an Almond Joy, followed by a Babe Ruth, followed by a whatever, a Mars Milky Way, whatever. So that's kind of a crazy memory, but a fun one.
I don't know if that's part of the normal Christmas
it's
time
not. Well,
memories.
We're metalheads. We're not normal, right? We don't want to be like anybody else. We're unique. We're unique.
So again, Celestial is coming out on October 18th, and there's a vocal theatricality involved in conveying emotion with heavy metal music. what aspects of that ability translates to singing Christmas songs?
Well, for me, it always comes from the words. The words kind of dictate the performance. And we had a lot of fun with this first song, Donner and Blitzen, because you're in the sleigh, you're with the reindeers, Donner and Blitzen, you're going around the world a million miles an hour. So you try and convey that kind of mood and emotion in the performance, much like the treatment that we gave to, say, Away in a Manger, which is a very beautiful, almost balladesque type of feel. There's a lot of metal on this record, as there should be, because that's what I do. And the guys that I work with, their background is in strong music as well. So it's just another example of you can take anything in life and you can put some kind of metal experience to it.
Absolutely. And I mean, there aren't really a ton of metal options for Christmas time. And I know that, for metal fans that want to like be able to still play metal on Christmas, like this is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, and you can never have enough metal. That's my thing. You can never have enough metal. And a lot of my friends have been in this time of year with their music. And I'm happy to be there amongst them. And it's something new, it's something fresh, something a little bit different to blast out through the speakers while you're enjoying that special day. And before, and after, and right now.
It's Full Metal Jackie, Rob Halford with us here. And again, his Christmas record is called Celestial. It's coming out on October 18th. And I think we're going to play some music. And we'll be right back with more with Rob Halford live from the KLOS Subaru live stage. 95.5 KLOS. We're back to the KLOS Subaru live stage on location at the Viper Room today with our special guest, Rob Halford of Judas Priest. That's right. I'm Full Metal Jackie filling in for Jonesy today. We love you, Jonesy, and we miss you.
Love you, Jonesy.
And we're here talking about Rob Halford's all-new Christmas album, Celestial. It's coming out on October 18th. And, we were talking earlier, Rob, about just, being here at the Viper Room, being on the Sunset Strip, and telling me some of the stories that you've had from over the years, which I'm sure are crazy, and I'm sure will be in your book, which you're working on, correct?
The book, it's like so deep. It's deep. It's the full-on revelations, yeah.
So
it's a great moment. I couldn't be more blessed. I couldn't be more grateful to all of our beautiful metal maniacs that have given us this life in metal. And there's a lot more to me than what's just sitting here right now. And I think it's just a great time in life just to share as much as I can and have it coming from the direct source. So yeah, it's coming along great. Should be out the end of next year.
So everything's going to be in there. You're not holding back anything,
no,
right? All the good
back.
stuff,
It's
the
scary.
bad stuff.
Yeah, it's all, I'm letting it all hang out, baby.
Well, talk more about being here over the years in Judas Priest, like in the 80s.
Yeah.
You were telling me some of the stuff that happened over the years that I think most people wouldn't believe.
Especially along the strip. It's about getting to the show, and this is in a reference to a couple of sold-out shows that the Priest had in New York at a great venue called the Palladium. And, the limo or whatever it was supposed to pick us up at the hotel. It never showed up, and it was rush hour and you couldn't get a cab or anything. So we took a bus. We got on public transport. Some of us were already in our stage clothes. And we took the bus from the hotel in Manhattan across the city to wherever the Palladium was. And the bus pulled up, the bus stop was by the show. At the front of the venue,
can't imagine what fans saw you coming out of the bus.
What is this? They just got off the bus. But you do whatever you got to do to make the show happen. And there's a lot of great memories like that. Stuff like that will be in the book and more.
So we're here talking again about Celestial, which comes out on October 18th. And throughout your career, Rob, you've performed music that showcases different aspects of your vocal ability. What techniques were necessary for Celestial that were sort of unlike any other music that you've ever sung?
Well, first of all, trying to get in the Christmas zone in July in a recording studio in a barn in the middle of the countryside with a pig farm next door. It's so like Ozzy, I'm trying to get takes down. You hear the squealing pigs coming in, filtering from the background. So a lot of that is the magic. When you go into a studio, anywhere in the world at any time of day, you can imagine and you can kind of escape to the place that you need to focus. So that's probably the most challenging thing when the red light goes on, which still terrifies me, and you press take. You have to, put yourself in the zone and get it to happen. So it's that, and some of these songs were an interesting challenge to some extent, because some of the lighter songs are the most difficult ones for me to do, because I'm the painkiller, right? So trying to dial that back and get into this really kind of delicate place with songs like Away in a Manger or Little Town of Bethlehem, that's quite a vocal challenge. But as a musician, musicians can never stop learning, and you're a musician if you're a singer. And so the great work that Mike Exeter did producing this record, Mike had just come off the Firepower record and the Sabbath 13 album prior to that, so he really steered me through to the right places.
And what made you decide on the songs that you chose to put on the record?
There really aren't that many in the kind of Christmas carol vein, so to speak, and we covered quite a bit of that territory on the Winter Song, so I didn't want to replicate that. So we found what was still out there that hadn't been touched. And the great thing about some of these songs is that a lot of them have been around for hundreds of years. They were written many, many years ago, but because they're beautiful songs and they kind of stood the test of time. And I've always said a great song will take any kind of arrangement. If the song has substance, it'll just, you can take it anywhere. And so that's what we did with these more well-known classic tracks.
Again, we're talking about Celestial, Rob Halford's Christmas record, which is coming out on October 18th. And Rob, there's a robustness to a holiday music that's not so much different from classic heavy metal. How much of making holiday music is an attempt to sort of dispel some of the stigma around metal?
Oh, everything, I mean, firstly, we're a unique bunch of people. We're there's I kind of like this thing that we're always kind of marginalized and pushed out a little bit. I think that makes us strong, that kind of unites us more as metalheads. Hey, what we do is special for us and it's unique for us. But if there's an opportunity to kind of send some messages out, like I hope that Celestial will, to reach some people that would maybe take some ideas from Celestial and go, I want to check out this Judas Priest band, I'm going to check out some metal, That's a great opportunity to spread that metal gospel.
I feel like there's always a lot of conversations with people who are into metal music who get upset when metal gets sort of like anywhere in the mainstream, because I feel like we sort of feel like it's ours and we're like okay at being like the underdog when it comes to like music and entertainment. But I think that it's a good thing when metal artists get an opportunity, whether it's on television or with artists like Ozzy just did this thing with Post Malone, which a lot of people are like, huh? But then if you think about it, it's kind of genius for both parties. I mean, how do you feel about that? With the people.
Firstly, we're fearless. We have no fear, in the metal world. We have enough kind of strength and self-belief, and this great metal maniac camaraderie is what holds us all together. So we know we've got that there. We've got each other's backs. We look after each other, and I think that's just a great support system that we work in, and that also then gives us an opportunity of like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this. I'm just going to, break down another barrier and just try and see what happens in this area. Ozzy is the Prince of effing darkness, and he can do whatever he wants. And the great thing about that Post Malone thing was he brought a tremendous amount of focus to Ozzy and metal and the metal community. So there you go.
I think it was actually funny. A lot of Post Malone fans who didn't know who Ozzy were like, I think this guy's going places.
Who is this
Ozzy
old guy?
Osbourne guy. Rob Halford with us. Celestial comes out on October 18th, and bands soundcheck and rehearse all sorts of music. What Christmas songs do you think that Judas Priest would pull off particularly well?
Oh, I think just the voice attached to this music could have opportunities. I don't know. I don't know if Priest will ever do a Christmas album per se. Why not? Why not? You know, the great joy for me and all of us in Priest, again, just walking back a couple of minutes, is that in Priest we've always had this sense of adventure. You know, we can be your painkiller, we can be your turbo lover, we can go break the law together. You know, we can be the sinner with each other. We can make some firepower. So, in that respect, I've always felt blessed that I'm in a band like Priest, because we have kind of pushed the envelope in a lot of ways. Yeah.
And Judas Priest is celebrating 50th anniversary next year, correct?
50 years, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
When you guys were starting out and, you know, just getting, known and developing, did you ever think in a million years that you guys would be celebrating your 50th anniversary as a band?
No. You know, we all agree that music is just this powerful emotional source, and sometimes it lasts forever, and sometimes it slowly fades away. You know, and so are there any musicians here in the crowd today? Yeah. So, bless you. First and foremost, we get tremendous pleasure out of being with our bandmates and just making a noise and making a record or just jamming, whatever it might be. That's the dream. That's how the dream starts. And if you work hard and you're lucky and you get the breaks, because every successful musician will tell you there was a moment when the tipping point happened and you were suddenly able to step ahead, slowly but surely. There's no guarantee, you know. This isn't like certain professions where you know you're going to be at this place for a long, long time, guaranteed, if you do your work. This is just wonderful. This is a blessing. This is the golden years, or the golden metal year for Priest is around the corner, and we can't wait to celebrate with all you guys. You know, we're putting together a massive show, one of the biggest pre-shows ever, to really showcase everything that this band has done. And we'll bring it to LA and everywhere through the States.
Good. We need more Judas Priest in our lives. And I mean, being that the band has been around for so long, I have to imagine that early days, I mean, it's not like you guys just started out and boom, you had a record deal and there was success.
You got to pay your dues.
There must have been people though over the years that were like, this Judas Priest thing, you guys should keep your day jobs, and you guys have outlived them in your careers. Do you ever see these people? And you seem like a nice, not bitter type person, but are there ever people that you're like, yeah, how about that?
When my mum passed away, bless her, a few years ago, I found out that she was keeping these scrapbooks of little clippings and stuff. I never knew about this. This was a really beautiful moment, and I'm looking through this scrapbook, and she cut out this piece that a journalist had put in a newspaper that's no longer in the UK, called Sounds magazine, and the reporter had made a report, critique on the Sad Wings of Destiny album. I can't remember it verbatim, but it said something like, "Don't quit your day jobs, guys. This is a pile of garbage. You know, you're not going anywhere. You might as well pack it in now." It was negative, and even now, looking and reading that from like how many years ago, that just gave me such a boost of, you watch, man, you know, this is what we thrive on. The more you push against us, the more we push back against you, you know, and that's how you survive. And that's how you survive in music, you know. It's self-belief, determination, all those are the cool things.
Rob Halford hanging out with us today. We're going to get back into some music. We'll be right back with Rob Halford, the Metal God, live from the KLOS Subaru live stage. 95.5 KLOS. We're back to the KLOS Subaru live stage on location at the Viper Room today with our special guests, the Metal God, Rob Halford and Judas Priest. I'm Full Metal Jackie filling in for Jonesy today. We love you, Jonesy.
Love you, Jonesy.
We're talking about Rob Halford's Christmas record, Celestial, which is coming out on October 18th. And just talking about the holidays. And, I mean, when you guys were like a young working band, you played year-round, regardless whether it's Christmas or not. But what memories of holiday camaraderie do you have from the very early days of Judas Priest?
Oh, there's just so many of it. You know, it's an extended family when you're in a band, regardless of how long you've been together. You know, you become so tight as brothers and sisters, and So you take that with you wherever you go, you know, and I'm sure if I really think at some point I'll have to delve into this, that we did shows around Christmas time early in the UK and across on the ferry to Europe. Probably just getting in that van and, you know, passing around a bottle of whatever it was and, you know, New Year's Day and all that other kind of stuff. Just really strong memories that are part of the special bond that you make amongst each other as musicians.
And have you always been just like a fan of the holidays? Like you've loved Christmas? Like
yeah, it's never left me, you know. I mean, that thing about when you're a kid and then suddenly you go, is that guy real? He's not on the roof this year, you know. So you adjust to it. But the actual celebration is just it's a special moment, you know. It's okay. It's had that little bit of a commercial edge for as long as we can remember. I think we get through that, you know. Really, it is just about being with the people that you love and celebrating and, you know, just sharing a very special time of the year.
Celestial again comes out October 18th. Rob Halford with us. And Christmas albums, movies, and TV shows become holiday traditions for a lot of people. Creatively, what was your focal point knowing Celestial could have that sort of timeliness? You know,
there's a lot of kind of other expressions that run alongside the music, yeah, particularly like The Grinch that stole Christmas, for example. And those old, beautiful, old classic stop animation, Rudolph things and Frosty the Snowman, that kind of stuff that lives forever, that you pass from one generation to another. You know, I don't know, maybe there's something in the making with Celestial that could be taken into that direction, you know, outside of the music, with some other kind of representation. But it's an open book to celebrate that time of year. It comes at you in many different ways, but the focus is always the same in terms of, you know, the good times that we share.
And again, Celestial's coming out real soon here, October 18th. And we were talking earlier about Judas Priest and 50-year anniversary in 2020. What are some of the big plans? What can we look forward to for 2020?
Yeah, well, as I said, you know, we've always done our best to give you the best that we can give you outside of the music that's roaring from the stage. So we're really pushing the boat out with some really spectacular moments that are going to happen on staging. Just give you that extra dimension. I'm so tempted to tell you what it is, but
we won't tell anybody.
That's the joy.
Rob, you
that's
can
the
trust
joy.
us.
No, it's like Christmas time.
Us, right?
It's like Christmas time, right? This is a gift that's being wrapped up and being ready to be unleashed next year. So I can promise you that it'll be a show you'll never forget, and it's going to be great to be with each other and just go through the decades with the
50
metal
years. I mean,
Priest.
That's pretty amazing.
It doesn't. What is 50 years? You know, it doesn't make sense to me. I, you know, wake up and think about this project that we're all working really hard at behind the scenes to make it happen. And every day I see a new dimension coming through, like a video piece. This is going to happen at this point on the stage, and then this thing takes shape, and like, what the hell, you know? This is just so wild. But it's a lot of giving back and thanking you guys so much for looking after Priest and for looking after metal for so many years.
And Rob, you have done quite a few collaborations over the years. Recently you did one with In This Moment, and obviously we had done the Five Finger Death Punch song. Are there any artists that you've wanted to do a collaboration with over the years that you still hope to do? You know,
we mentioned Ozzy with Post Malone. There's a beautiful song on this album called Morning Star, and I kind of put that song together pretty quickly. I was in the kitchen of my house playing acoustic guitar, and this song just started to happen. And as I was playing it, I could hear Willie Nelson in the background, like singing along with me. And then I thought, how cool would this be for the metal god and Willie Nelson to do kind of a duet? And he's like a god, right? Willie Nelson is a god.
That would be amazing.
And as luck would have it, Willie's on the same label as I am, you know, with Sony Legacy. So we're trying to see if that could be a possibility. I mean, I would just be like jaw on the floor. I'd be the total fanboy geek. You'd have to give me like an hour to get over the fact that like Willie might be sitting there with a microphone. But
Willie Nelson, if you're listening, Rob's trying to get a hold of you.
I would love that to happen, just because it's special. And I love Willie. I love what he does with his music. I love what he does for America. I love the way he supports the farmers and the very important people that put the food on our tables here. So he's iconic in many, many ways. So that would be great if that could happen.
Rob Halford of Judas Priest with us. Pick up Rob Halford's Christmas record, Celestial. It's coming out on October 18th. It looks a little like this for those of you watching at home online. Thanks for listening to a special edition of Jonesy's Jukebox live from the KLOS Subaru live stage at the Viper Room. Thanks to Mr. Shovel for guiding this ship. And let's thank our sponsor, Subaru, for sponsoring the KLOS Subaru live stage here at the legendary Viper Room on Sunset Boulevard. Wahoo's Fish Tacos for the lunch that you guys seem to be enjoying over there. Western Sun Vodka. And, of course, the metal god himself, Rob Halford. Let's hear it for him. I'm Full Metal Jackie. Again, filling in for Jonesy. You can catch my show, Whiplash, Sunday nights from 9 to 11 if you like metal, and I think that you do. Marcy's coming up next. 95.5 KLOS. Thank you so much, Rob.
Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Thank you, KLOS. Love you, Jonesy. See you soon.